Well, how did you get the water at the Fox?
Oh, at the Fox. Oh, there was a pump about 4 yards in front of the front door at the Fox. There was a pump stood there. It was a big. It was encased in a wooden case. Like, it stood there with a pump with a handle, and you hung your bucket on the hook and pumped the water, and then you took the water indoors what you wanted for domestic use, and then used the water then to feed your horses and your pigs and whatnot, and there was no water in Pirton apart from the council houses.
So
They had water. There was their own private water tower in the council houses.
where was that
And they were
then?
built in 1921, and that was situated at the top of the council houses, near on the corner where the council houses join Bunyan's Close. That's where the water tower stood, and that was just for council houses only.
Yeah.
I think they must have, when they built the council, they must have laid a water main all the way around the council houses, and that was private, because when I had my bungalow built here, I thought I was going to go on there, and the council said, no way, you can't have our water, that's private.
So that was 1921 they built the Davis
They
Crescent.
built the Davis 2021 when they built the Davis Crescent houses, yes.
Yeah. So how did...
But other people in Perth, like I say, we had a pump. I suppose lots of people had a pump, but I think most people had to go down the well. They didn't go down the well, but they had a well, and with a chain, and they used to hook the bucket on the chain and wind the handle, and it went down to the bottom of the well and brought the water up, and God knows what it tasted like, but they seemed to like it, I don't know. But I remember Arthur Walker lived up in that was a farm then, top of Prior's Hill. He was a relation to the Walkers that got Little Green Farm and that, and he got one leg. He got crippled during the war. But anyway, he couldn't walk a lot. But he loved a rabbit, because my father and I used to catch rabbits, you see. And he loved a rabbit, but he didn't like a hare. But he'd got the field behind the house, and old hares used to lay on there, because I suppose you all know hares don't go down holes. They lay on top of. They live on top of the ground in a form. I mean, they don't go down a hole, and you'd walk across the field them days, and you'd put half a dozen hares up. Now you can't find one anywhere, because the sprays have killed them, I suppose. But anyway, he used to love, like a rabbit, and he used to ring up my father and say, "Send the old boy up with a rabbit, will you?" He said, because I got him a hare. And because he could stand in his garden and see a hare close enough in a form, and he'd shoot it from his garden, and he'd bring it home, and he'd leg it, put one leg in the other, and hook it on his chain of the well, and he'd drop it down the well to keep it. And then when I went up with a rabbit, I got to leave him a rabbit and bring the hare home. He'd draw the hare up, and he'd put the rabbit on the chain and drop it. Because you see, if it was warm weather, the blowflies would get on the rabbit, and that'd soon have maggots. Well, down that well, that'd keep a week, fortnight, and that's where he used to keep them down there. Probably got his money down there as well, I don't know. I never asked him about that, Wouldn't be surprised if he did, because he got a bob or two. Anyway, that's another story.
What about when the water came to the village?
Well, now I can remember they laid the water from Hull to Pirton, and I'm sure it was 1933, because I've got photographs here of the men who laid the water, and they lived in tents in the back of the Fox field. And one man was named Andy, because he broke his arm. I've got a photograph here of him standing with some customers of the Fox with his arm in a sling, and I reckon that was about 1933. Now, I was only 5 then, and I don't know how long it taken, but I can remember going down the Hole Road and seeing this long trench. It stretched a hell of a way, and there was a little hut there, and there was a night watchman there, and he got a row of hurricane lamps on the top of the trench all the way down, and he came every night, and I don't know what he was watching. See if the lamps went out, I suppose. I don't know, but he lit the lamps, I suppose, then sat there all night, and I don't know really. They never dug a bit of trench and put a pipe in and filled it in. It seems to me that if they got a trench all the way to Pole. Well, I don't know. Perhaps it wasn't as far as that. But see, I couldn't have been. But when I was 1933, I was only 5 years old. So what I was doing down there at night, I shouldn't be down there. But us boys used to play about at night, didn't we? Up Toot Hill and a bit. But no, that was the first time that I think the water was really laid. Well, it was laid onto Pirton when taps appeared. They put several standpipes out in the roads, so that because not everybody got it in the house at the same time.